The S7 Edge is definitely the sexiest looking phone out there right now, but it's also got a couple of tricks up its sleeve. Some are unique to the S7 or the S7 Edge, while some are common to all Android devices. The first one is waking up your lock screen to a new wallpaper every time without downloading an app for it. It's all inbuilt in the Galaxy S7 or the S7 Edge. Just go inside your wallpaper settings and select lock screen from the drop down above. And then you need to go into gallery and choose photos that you want to appear at random on your lock screen. Now, you can choose up to 30 photos in one shot. So right now I just have 4 and I'm just going to show them to you. Now, every time you're going to press your power key, basically to unlock the device, the picture on your lock screen is going to change. So it just fades into another wallpaper. So if you have 30 of them, you can actually have 30 unique wallpapers every time you press the power button. And if just in case you're wondering where I got all those wallpapers from, you could go to Wallpapers for Me. It's an app that's free to download from the Play Store. This is a particular theme that they're working on, but you can always go and change your categories. All right, the next one is called Smartlock. It's a feature wherein your device automatically understands that you're in a trusted environment and disables fingerprint requirement, if any, to allow instant access to your device. So I have fingerprint security on my device at the moment. Ordinarily, I cannot unlock by a simple swipe, but right now I just did. Now it's possible because I've enabled Smartlock on my device by training the S7 Edge that I am indeed in a trusted environment. Now how do I do that? Go to your lock screen and security options, go into Smartlock. It'll prompt you for a password and, well, of course, just key that in, and then it'll give you options to set trusted environment. What I have done is added my home location as a trusted environment. Obviously, I need to enable my location settings for the device to know that I'm there, but that's a conscious call I'm making. Moving on, you can also add trusted devices like a Bluetooth headset or your car stereo or your Android Wear devices. The point is really to let the device know that your phone is indeed with you and that it's safe to not ask for a fingerprint scan each time you want to unlock your device. Samsung introduced extended screenshots in the Note 4, the Note Edge, and the Note 5 series, and now it's here in the S7, the S7 Edge. A lot of times you're reading a news feed or an article and you just want the entire page to be taken as a screenshot. That's when this nifty feature comes in handy. Now there are browsers that can do the same thing, but this feature, this works on apps as well, so that's quite nice to have. All you need to do is just take a screenshot and tap onto the capture more that appears on the bottom left, and the phone goes on taking screenshots. The entire image is then stored in your gallery, and you can just share it further with whatever apps, whether email or WhatsApp or Instagram, so on and so forth. Now, fingerprint scanning has become really common, and fingerprint sensors have become really effective. What I have done is I have enabled both my left thumb as well as a right thumb. But it's even better to have your index fingers programmed too, because when it's lying horizontally on the table, it's a little difficult to have your thumb be placed in the right direction. But with your index finger, it's really, really easy. So all you got to do is just head over to fingerprint, the place where you can add fingerprints, and you can have up to 4 fingerprints stored into your phone. And as you can see right here, I have all of those 4 fingerprints stored. It just makes your life easier because you just need to have more and more fingers scanned and stored onto your phone. So have your thumb and your index fingers just makes your life a lot easier. Now, another really interesting feature which is extremely underused and is quite important in today's day and age is the do not disturb mode. You can basically program your phone to not disturb you with any calls, messages, emails for a defined period of time. But then if you're anything like me, you just know that some things are always urgent and important for which you have to create an exception. You can allow alarms to wake you up or allow certain contacts to always reach out to you, allow certain apps to pass through, and even let some reminders or events to go through. Now, I find turning on this feature much more useful than blatantly just putting your phone on silent in the night. Because whether you accept it or not, before you're going to sleep that there might be something or someone that's going to call me and I need to be available for that person. But you're just like, but I don't want to be disturbed by others, so let's just put it on silent. Well, this is the answer to that problem. And you can have, your favorite contacts that can always reach out to you, even if you're in do not disturb mode, and you can create exceptions on the go. Now, you can also approach what I just said the other way around. Go into apps and notifications, go into settings and then tap on advanced notification settings. You can now set individual notification settings for an app that you want. You can now decide how you want the notifications to behave, say on the lock screen, whether or not you want them to appear at all. And if yes, then whether you want the content to show or not. You can also set an app as a priority app so that it notifies you even if you are in DND mode. So while you could do this from the DND settings as well, you can do it for individual apps going into advanced notification settings. Now this one's an old trick but still very useful, which is setting your setting toggles in the right order basis your preference. You can edit the order of these settings in your notification toggle by simply tapping down the down arrow right there, and then long pressing the setting you want to use more and dragging it to the top row. Once done, you'll see that your first preferences are always going to be in the first row. A very similar approach can be taken to your settings screen as well. The top area is actually editable, and you can choose which settings you'd like first-hand access to. So right now I have about 7 of these. I could actually just tap into edit, and let's say, I have a couple of settings that I really use. So for example, let's say data usage is one of them, okay? And I can choose up to 9, so I can have one more. Let's say applications, and there you go. I have my grid ready for instant access. Now, Samsung ships with its default TouchWiz user interface, which, as you'd know, is very similar to any other Samsung smartphone. A, it's not that great, and B, it's really boring. I mean, you do get bored once in a while, right? So there are various launchers available in the market that you can install to change that look. My favorite one is called Nova Launcher. And as you see, I've kept it very similar, but the icons have changed. I've got new icons, and I can install more icon packs from the Play Store. A lot of them are free, and a lot of them are paid as well. It's totally up to you what all you want to install. Other than that, there's just so many things that you can do. So for example, screen animations. As you can see, it just swiped the second screen over the first screen. I can actually go into settings, and you'd see that there's just so many things that you can change about your experience. For example, I want my app list to be vertical, so that I could also just alphabetically access them. That's something you could do. You could again go into settings, and you could say, well, I want a different background for my dock. So the dock is where all your icons are at the bottom of the screen, which are always present on the home screen. So as you can see, well, it's probably not visible to you, but yeah, I've changed that a little bit over there. And again, it's just so many things that you could do. I mean, let's say that every time I swipe up or swipe down, I want something else to happen. Every time I double tap the screen, it should open up, let's say, maps. Just for example, okay? So let me just look for maps. There we go. And now I can just test out all of these. So swipe down, my notification panel comes down. Swipe up, I open my, my dialer. Double tap opens up my map. So all of these shortcuts that you otherwise cannot. All right, next up is themes. Okay, so this is something that they started coming up with, I think, the Galaxy S6, is that you can actually change the look of your phone every day if you wanted to, and everything changes. The icons, the notification panel, the dialer, even the always-on display is going to get changed depending upon the theme that you install. And there are just a bunch of them available. So have a look. This is the dialer that's going to be in case you change to this theme. Again, and I could just go down, and this one seems pretty cute. Nothing that I would ever have, but if you were to give a Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge to a kid, maybe. But again, so it just changes everything, and you would never get bored of your device. You could just go into more themes. There's an entire theme store that has a huge bank of all of these themes that people are creating from all over the world, and putting it on here. Again, so one way was to get the Nova launcher. Just to have a new look onto your phone with new icons and new wallpapers, or you could just go into themes and change everything there is about your phone. Pretty kick-ass. And talking about always-on display brings me to this point. A lot of people don't know, but you could change the way or change the look of your always-on display. There are a couple of options available within settings. So if you really dig down, search for always-on display, you could actually define what you want to show onto your lock screen, which is always on. You can choose from a couple of clocks. I always prefer the digital one because, I don't want to make out what the time is. It should be right bang on right there. You can even change the background color. So you could choose to have nothing, or you could choose to have a particular color or particular pattern. All right, now down to a last few tricks. One is to enable power saving. So every time you feel that, you're down on battery juice, enable power saving mode. I know it brings down the performance a little, and it just limits all useless vibrations and everything, restricts background data, which also helps you save data, but it does help in increasing your battery life significantly. But if you really, really want to get the battery out, try the ultra power saving mode. Imagine, even with 30% left, I could go on for almost about 10 hours using my phone with very basic apps like WhatsApp, phone calls, and that's pretty much what I need, when I'm in need of extra battery. So yeah, go ahead and use one of these things because I'm sure you need this all the time. Although it does have a bigger battery than the S6 and the S6 Edge. Now, something that Samsung has kept away from us is okay, hold on. So, when you take a picture, it's just a picture, right? I mean, there's nothing to it. You could actually just go into settings and you could enable motion photos. This was not there earlier, it is there now with the S7 and the S7 Edge. Now, what that does is, let's say I do something before I take a picture. And once I do take a picture, I could go into gallery and I could play it back. So it's very similar to the live photo that the iPhone talks about. It's been there, in Android devices as well. And here's a perfect example that it's also there in the Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge. The last thing, which is not really it's just a tip, really. When your phone comes to you, it's by default on Full HD. You should always move it to Full HD 60 FPS. YouTube allows for 60 FPS playback, and it's just a lot smoother. And also ensure that your video stabilization is on so that your videos are not shaky. So that's it, guys. The Galaxy S7 and the S7 Edge tips and tricks. Let me know if you find anything new, and thank you for watching.